Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. In today's story, OP's daughter doesn't want to see her dad, and he blames OP for this. Now he threatens to call the cops on her. And OP goes to meet his girlfriend's parents, but when he gets there, she gets a big surprise. Am I the idiot for not forcing my daughter to visit her dad? Hello, so I have a very complicated co-parenting relationship with my 13-year-old daughter's dad. He lives in another state and rarely visits, around once a year. We do have a court order that states he can have visits, we just need to work them out first. We do a shared calendar. Now, we don't do a whole lot of stuff, so there might be 1 to 3 weekends that are busy throughout the entire year. In January, he messaged me saying he would be coming out in February. I hadn't put anything on the calendar yet, but knew we would be busy only one weekend that month, Valentine's Day. My birthday is next day. And that just happened to be the weekend he picked. I told him that wasn't a good weekend, but every other weekend was completely open. He got mad, said no, he was coming down that weekend and there was nothing I could do about it. Honestly, I wasn't going to argue with him, so I informed my daughter that her dad was coming out that weekend. She freaked out hearing that. She told me her friends had told her that her crush was planning on asking her on a Valentine's date, would be her first ever date. She immediately called her dad and begged him to move the weekend. He actually yelled at her, then yelled at me for, quote, turning her against him. She ended up hanging up on him and has been ignoring his calls since. Well, she was asked out on a movie date for Valentine's Day, to be supervised by the boy's mom. So, Valentine's Day comes, her dad is in town now. She refuses to go and goes on her date. She refuses to even meet up with him. I've tried multiple times to get her to go see him, even for a bit, but she is not budging. He is obviously very mad. He's now threatening to call the police and the courts to see if I can be thrown in jail. I've tried talking to her, but I can't drag her into the vehicle and force her to stay with him. So, am I the idiot? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. For not trying harder to convince my daughter to visit, and for him wasting a bunch of money on a trip down. I'm not understanding why she couldn't have her fun date on Friday night, and have plans to see her dad Saturday day or Saturday night, and or Sunday? She had a good date, even got a kiss. She came home and told me all about it. I've tried talking to her about going to see him, even for a few hours in a public place. She has brought up that it's not the first time he's yelled at her. During the last visit he yelled at her to shut up multiple times. So this wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment thing? He is always an ass? I think it's time for you guys to review this custody agreement OP. He visits once a year, but do they talk or text in between times? They can call or text whenever they want. They used to have a few calls a week, but in the past year it has been dropping. Sometimes he will call and she would answer, say she doesn't want to talk and hang up. She won't talk to me about why. I don't understand why you would not put anything tentative on the calendar for that weekend. You knew it was Valentine's weekend and your birthday. You may not have known what the activities were, but at least as a heads up put something tentative there. You could not have expected a 13-year-old girl to not want to do something that weekend. Your ex saw it was open and chose it, then you told him it is not a good weekend, even though there was nothing scheduled. Yes, I should have put it on there, it was an oversight on my part. But honestly he's only ever come to visit during her birthday, November, or around Christmas. He didn't come out last November or December due to, quote, legal issues. I'm not exactly sure what, as he definitely ain't telling me about it. This is the first time he's ever tried coming out at a different time. Your excuse for not allowing the dad to see his daughter is super weak, and you are hurting your daughter. If you keep this up, the day will come when the dad will stop making any efforts to see his daughter. I never said he couldn't see her. I was willing to change my plans, but my daughter refused to change her date. She refused to go see him even when I offered compromises, example going to the mall to hang out a few hours. She even refused that. Which honestly, is huge for her. She loves the mall. Info, why does he only visit once a year? Does he have a strict schedule? I'm not exactly sure if he has a job. I know he fixes computers every now and then. Child support is $180 a month. He did get in trouble last year for not paying. This is a reason he has used for not visiting. He has even stated he wants me to pay half of his expenses when he visits. He said he'd visit more if I helped pay, but he has also said a visit cost him $10K per visit, so he'd expect me to pay him $5K. Did he move states or did you? We have always lived in 2 different states. He was supposed to move to my state when we first got together. But I got pregnant. He was happy at first, then he started cheating and decided not to move to my state. Then, he accused me of cheating. When baby was born he made fun of her, until we did a paternity test to show he was the dad. Yeah, not the idiot, and your ex is an ass. And he's not only an ass, but also a cheater? He looks like a great guy. He spends a few days a year with his daughter and thinks he has some kind of parental authority over her? Yeah, I'll understand that they don't live in the same state, and it might be hard for him to visit her more often, but nowadays it's possible to be closer to your kid, without necessarily being physically there. And if they had a closer relationship, they would plan together his visits. He wouldn't have to keep checking with her mom when she would be available, because daughter herself would have told him, and he would understand why she wants to be free on that weekend, and he wouldn't act like an ass with his daughter and her mother. At least, that is what I hoped, until I found out he has always been an ass. I know that his schedule might not depend only on him, because of work, money or whatever, but that doesn't mean that his daughter has to always be available to him when he decides to show up. Her life doesn't stand still waiting for where and when he'll show up, and he should understand that. And some people would say, oh, but mom didn't put it in the calendar. So what? The girl is 13, she can make plans on her own, which she did. And I know this can be frustrating, but don't be an a-hole to your kid. She was already pulling away, not talking to him as often as before, and I know it could just be because she's a teenager and wants some space from her parents, but maybe it is more than that. I don't know, but now daughter is determined not to see or speak to her father, and he should be the one who's most interested in finding out why and how to fix it, instead of threatening OP. Wake up dude, you're the father, grow up, and stop threatening your daughter's mother because she doesn't force her to see you, because you're acting like an ass. Or better, stop acting like an ass. And what do you guys think about this situation? What advice would you give OP? And what would you do in her place? Have you been through or know someone who has been through something familiar? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. Now let's read what the comments say. Not the idiot, call his bluff and tell him to go ahead and call the cops, they will not interfere in custody. And it sounds like you are well within your rights based on the court order, the dates have to be worked out and he ignored that. I would honestly back off a little bit instead of continuing to push your daughter, let her know that you respect her decision and if at any point, she wants to go see him, all she has to do is let you know and you will gladly take her. Not the idiot, I don't know about the laws in your country, but in mine, you wouldn't be thrown in jail. In fact, your ex not coming regularly and often at all, and then demanding one single specific weekend, which contains your birthday and is right after Valentine's Day, would raise some eyebrows on his behavior. Stay strong and let him make an authoritarian a-hole out of himself all he wants. And then congratulate yourself for being free of this man. Not the idiot, for not forcing daughter to visit her dad? Why ruin your relationship with her, too? This should be her choice. Her a-hole dad failed to make plans with her before coming, so she does not have time for him. This is his own fault, he will learn. Not the idiot, he's failing to understand that arranging time involves compromise, which comes from both directions. He can't dictate when he visits without consulting and expects her to always be available. Him jumping to, quote, getting you thrown in jail, makes him look real bad. I hope he did that in text, so it can be submitted to a lawyer. Looks like it's time to revisit visitation protocols, if he thinks it's all at his discretion. Your daughter's father only shows up once in a while. She asked him not to come that weekend and he ignored her. If anyone is the a-hole here, it's him, not you or your daughter. And what about you guys? What do you think of the comments? Do you agree with them? Would you advise anything else to OP? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt to my first meeting with my girlfriend's parents? I, 28, male, have been dating my girlfriend, 23, female, for a few months. Things have gone well, we get along well so far, and I really care about her, and hope things work out with us. Anyway, she recently invited me to come over and have dinner with her parents at their home. She still lives with them for now. We are getting more serious and they wanted to meet me. If it's relevant, her parents are Indian immigrants to the US, and I am white. So, I thought it was a completely casual meeting, and I wore an Iron Maiden t-shirt. Oh, boy. I do happen to like the band, but that's not even why I wore it, that's just how I dress, and that shirt just happened to be clean that day. I went and met her parents, and thought we'd had a good meeting. However, my girlfriend is not happy with me. She feels as if me, dressing in a t-shirt, rather than a nicer button-up shirt was bad enough, but that wearing a shirt with skulls on it was, in her words, just obnoxious. I honestly just dressed for the meeting, the way I usually do, and didn't even think about it. I think that if she had certain standards, she should have communicated them to me beforehand. But she thinks that what I did was obviously stupid and inappropriate, and that I should have known better. Is she right, or is she being too critical? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I should have maybe worn a more neutral shirt to my first meeting, with my girlfriend's traditional Indian parents. I can see how an Iron Maiden shirt may have come off as a little aggressive. This relationship has an expiration date. Yikes, I really hope not. I love her and she hasn't broken up with me yet over this. Hopefully she won't. So far we seem to have gotten past this, but if your prediction comes true, I will certainly take my mistakes to heart. Have you learned anything from this? Absolutely. I need to treat my relationship with her with more love and care. I really misjudged things, and want to show her parents that I'm a serious adult, who is good for their daughter. Let's get this out of the way, she's right. She is completely right. Dude, you were going to meet your girlfriend's parents for the first time, whether they are conservative or not, there is an implied dress code for this type of situation. And for the love of God, even if you didn't need to dress up, and her parents were chill, which I don't think is the case, you should not, I repeat, you should not wear a shirt with a skull on it to meet your girlfriend's parents. Look, I also like Iron Maiden, although I prefer Metallica, but I wouldn't wear a t-shirt from either of them, the first time I met the family of someone I was dating. Unless this happened at a concert, at a music festival, in the middle of the street or something like that, which was not the case here. OP. Come on, man, you really messed up. This is not just about whether it was supposed to be a casual meeting or not, but about respect for the parents and your girlfriend, and also on how serious you are about this relationship, and unfortunately with that attitude, you give off the vibe that you don't care much about their opinion or their approval. I get that this wasn't your intention, but unfortunately that is what happened. I'm glad that OP understood that he made a mistake and is willing to try to fix it. I hope things between OP and his girlfriend get sorted out, and that her parents don't fixate on this first meeting. And what is your opinion regarding this? What advice would you give OP? Do you think his relationship is at risk? What would you do if you were OP's girlfriend? Would you have the same reaction as her, or what he was wearing would not be important to you? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. Now let's read what the comments say. You are the idiot. Because you're an adult, meeting someone's parents generally isn't an overly casual thing, unless they specify that their parents are casual as well. Surely you own a nicer shirt than an Iron Maiden t-shirt, being an adult and all. Didn't even think about it. Maybe she wants someone who does put a little thought into the relationship? OP's decision here is likely to make her life harder, and he doesn't seem to care. OP, are you a 3-year-old? The first impression is the most important part of a relationship. Now you will have to spend an incredible amount of effort to change the shitty first impression you gave. OP, you are thoughtless and it shows. I was shitting bricks when I met my in-laws for the first time. Because having them on your side helps so much to reduce the stress your partner has in the relationship. I know this is hard, but think about this. Every time she speaks to her parents, they are going to nag at her about how you really don't measure up. You are the idiot. Yeah, dude, come on. High school kids have more sense than that. I realize the world is in take me as I am mode, but the reality is meeting the parents is a big deal. If you don't even put the most basic effort into it, you're just telling them and your girlfriend the relationship isn't that important to you. I'm amazed at the people acting like meeting the parents is a one-way street here, and that he is expected to be 100% deferential. If there was an expectation, it should have been communicated to him. And in the absence of that, it is perfectly valid for an adult to dress however they feel comfortable. They're all adults. They don't get to dictate how other adults dress, nor do they get to dictate who she dates. And if they do, well, I'd like to get that out in the open, as soon as possible, personally. You did nothing wrong, OP, and the people insinuating that what you did was childish are the ones ironically being most childish. Adults don't whine about what other adults they know are wearing. Better to set the expectation that you don't dress up in formal wear in casual settings. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? What else would you say to OP? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, go watch the video that is appearing on the screen right now or click on one of our playlists that are in the description to watch more videos. Until next time.